Hello and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm Ayşe Süberkaş. As 2020 was winding down, Libyan warlord Khalifa Haftar threatened to reignite a campaign that failed disastrously last year. A ceasefire deal in October had put a stop to the fighting in Libya. But Haftar's brazen threats, which were also directed at Turkish forces, could upend a shaky peace. Haftar said he would use direct force against Turkish troops if Ankara did not cease its support for the UN-backed government of national accord. That threat was immediately shut down by Libya's defense minister. Haftar's foreign backers also signaled they weren't on board, with France saying there wasn't a military solution to the conflict. Egypt and Russia have also been in contact with officials from the GNA, hinting they too are looking beyond Haftar. But Ankara hasn't taken the warlord's threat lightly. Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar visited Libya in a show of solidarity with the GNA and to inspect troops stationed in the country. And to discuss the latest, joining me now from Manchester is Ahmed Sewehli. He is a political analyst and Libyan rights activist. And Murat Aslan, he's a researcher at SETA, a political and policy think tank based in Ankara. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Ahmed, could you walk us through the latest when it comes to political and military situation in Libya right now?
From a military situation, there's not much going on. When I say not much going on, there's no combat as such. However, it wouldn't surprise you to know that in the east there are still Russian planes coming from Syria to Benghazi, as well as Emirati planes traveling to Rajma, which is near Benghazi. What are on those planes, we don't really know. Sirt is where there were clashes a few months ago, but then of course that stopped. But Sirt, which is in the middle of the northern coast of Libya, is still under Haftar and Russian control, really. From a political point of view, there are these talks going on under the auspices of the United Nations. Now, the good thing is that all parties have agreed that there should be elections, national elections, December this year, 2021. However, there are still differences on who should oversee those elections and whether there should be a new government or not. Until now, there has been no agreement, so Sarraj is still officially the president of the Presidential Council and the Prime Minister of Libya, based in Tripoli.
Yeah. So, Murat, what do you make of the latest visit by Egyptian diplomats and intelligence officials in Libya to meet the GNA? If I'm not mistaken, it's the first official visit.
Well, it was a bit surprising, though. It was expected because Egyptians had accepted Minister of Interior Fethi Basha to Egypt, and there were some ongoing negotiations with the Tripoli government, with Egyptians in Egypt. And this visit must be read through not only in the regional dynamics, but also international ones, because Egypt is heavily concerned with the developments in the Gulf region, the change in the US administration as of January 20th, and at the meantime, heavily dealing with the developments at the Eastern Mediterranean Sea for energy politics. So if you compare the assets on the ground in Libya and also the potential developments expected by the Egyptian delegations or Egyptian decision makers, then yes, there must be another gate in Libya just to compromise the interests of Egypt and with comply with the international developments.
All right. Ahmed Sisi says he supports political solution in Libya and does not want any military action. So do you believe Egypt could become a reliable partner in finding a political solution to the Libyan conflict? And do you believe they can overcome years of differences?
I think, as Murat said, it is in the interest of Egypt to have a stable Libya. However, the stable Libya that Egypt wanted was one where Haftar would be in control. Now, of course, that didn't happen. And the reason that didn't happen was because of Turkey's assistance to the Libyan government at the Libyan government's request, and put a stop to Emirati, French, Russian and Egyptian forces, basically, and their quest for gaining control of Libya. So I think it's a good thing that the Egyptian government is now seeing sense, and probably most due to Trump administration coming to an end. And I think it is time for the region to see that a stable Libya, a democratic Libya, is the only way forward for all concerned.
So, Murat, how could a close cooperation between Tripoli and Cairo impact Ankara's presence in Libya?
To the final extent, these countries are sovereign and can easily establish any political dialogue among themselves. It's nothing to do with Turkey or any other state. On the other hand, Turkey invested a lot to GNA and does not have any expectation regarding the future of Libya, though. And Turkey has an expectation to have future relations at the line of cooperation and collaboration, not only in military terms, but also in political terms. And Egypt may also be included to this course, because if Egypt says, okay, we are together with Turkey and GNA to work together to assist Libyans to build a democratic state, then why not? I think Turkey is open to every alternatives, including Egypt.
So, Ahmed, is Egypt, can we say, slightly loosening its ties with the United Arab Emirates and moving more towards the Russian policy? And if so, where also does this leave Turkey?
I think we have seen just in recent days how the United Arab Emirates is being more and more isolated. And Egypt, in the end, is going to go along a course which is in its own interest. Now, you asked earlier on whether it would be a reliable partner. I think it would be a partner. I'm not sure about its reliability. In terms of democracy, of course, there is no democracy in Egypt, so there's no way that we can rely on Egypt to ensure democracy in the country. However, I think what is happening at the moment is that there is a stalemate in terms of military. That the Egyptians have realized that there is no way that Tripoli can fall now with Turkish forces in the west of Libya, which weren't there 18 months ago.
So, Murat, why do you think Haftar made those threats against Turkey?
I think Haftar is struggling nowadays because he is defeated from the south of Tripoli, has lost a vast territory that the population of Libya, like 2/3 of the overall population, lives at the northwest under GNA, and a probable election means he will be defeated in political terms. And at the meantime, don't forget, in the USA, Haftar is sued by a family for the crimes he committed during the crime. What does that mean? Then Haftar must stick to a course that includes himself. And Russian support, along with the UAE, will push him to be more aggressive in the coming days because he will not be included to the election process.
Okay. So, Ahmed, where do you think the EU and Russia would stand in Libya's future? Should one expect a more assertive and a unified approach from the European Union, or has the EU lost Libya to Russia?
The EU, first of all, has lost a lot of credibility. And the reason behind this is, of course, the French position, which military, logistically, diplomatically, and politically supported Haftar. And they have lost big time. So Europe is, at the moment, still trying to be involved in Libya. But to be honest, they're not being trusted by either side. Russia probably has more of a role because it has troops in the form of Wagner mercenaries still on the ground. So the Europeans, I think they have a problem in that they have to try amongst themselves to sort out what their actual position is, because no one knows at the moment. The good thing is that I just want to point out that over the last week, there have been 4 municipal elections in the west of Libya. We have not noticed Europe or any other Western country, congratulating Libyan people on this. Of course, these are in areas which are under Libyan civilian government control. In Haftar areas, controlled areas at the moment, there are no elections, and that shows the success of coming out of the defeat of Haftar forces in the west of Libya. We need to see how we can get rid of Haftar totally from all of Libya, so that all of Libyans can taste freedom again.
So, how do you think the political process will be shaped moving forward, Murat? And what do you make of Ankara's position?
There are some courses for that. The Libyan Political Dialogue Forum, as you know, established a consultation mechanism with a group of representatives made up of 18 people exactly, and they will argue on the names who will govern the transition period. But unfortunately, up until now, there was no compromise on that. Because the fear is that if elections are postponed, the transitional government will somehow be a permanent one. On the other hand, there must be an election in Tripoli for an ultimate and endurable stability in country. So we will see if, the ones who are pro-stability or the ones who are more pro, conflict in terms of gaining a benefit on the ground will, have a ground in reality.
So, Ahmed, are you hopeful that there's going to be peaceful elections soon?
That is the only way forward. A lot of the conflict was about who rules Libya. Everybody says there's no military solution. It has been proved that there's no military solution. I don't like the word solution, but it's what people want. Haftar will call it a solution because he wants to take over militarily the control of Libya. He's not able to do that. And so I think there's more a push now towards elections. Now, how these elections will be held is still to be determined. However, as I said, we've seen in the west of Libya how elections can be held. The United Nations can help. America and the European Union can also help in terms of their experience in democracy. And we hope that France will finally learn that just like they want democracy in the United States and France, then Libyans also want democracy, and maybe they'll support that too.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on Libya. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk. The UK's trade relations with the rest of the world post-Brexit was shrouded in uncertainty for most of last year. Negotiators scrambled to get a deal with the EU, by far its largest trading partner. They managed to secure one on the eve of the December 31st deadline. But just days before that, the UK had inked a free trade agreement with Turkey, its first post-Brexit. The FTA is already being hailed as historic, and the lira has seen steady gains since. Haydar Abbasi has more.
It's been described as a landmark deal. The UK is Turkey's second largest export market. And last month, the two nations signed a free trade agreement. The UK's first since leaving the European Union.
Today is a historic day for Turkish United Kingdom relations. With the signing of the free trade deal between Turkey and the UK, the bilateral trade will continue in an effective way. The deal will be the biggest guarantee of stronger trade between Turkey and the UK in the coming days.
The UK has signed trade agreements with 62 countries since 2016, when it decided to exit the EU. On the 1st of January this year, as the UK officially left the EU's single market, the deal with Turkey came into effect. So what are the details of the agreement? The deal covers trade worth more than $24 billion. Tariffs on all industrial products have been removed. And both countries say the deal will lead to an expanded agreement in the future that will include digital services and investments. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan stressed the importance of the trade deal.
Yapılan uzun müzakereler sonunda İngiltere ile serbest ticaret anlaşması imzalama aşamasına geldik. Yarın inşallah bu anlaşmanın imzaları atılıyor. Bu Gümrük Birliği Anlaşması'ndan sonraki en önemli ticari anlaşmamız olacaktır. İnşallah 2021 yılından itibaren hem Türkiye'nin hem İngiltere'nin kazanacağı yeni bir dönem başlıyor.
Ankara entered into a customs union agreement with the EU in 1995, which removed trade limits and customs barriers between the two parties. The new agreement allows trade with the UK to continue uninterrupted post-Brexit. Turkey's main exports to Britain are gold, textiles, motor vehicles, and iron and steel products. In total, these exports are worth more than $11 billion. From the UK, Turkey receives cars, plastics, pharmaceuticals, and mechanical appliances. The coronavirus pandemic has caused havoc across the global economy, sending several countries into recession. The trade agreement between the UK and Turkey should provide much-needed relief. Haider Abbasi, Straight Talk.
And joining me now from Ankara is Atilla Bastirmaci. He is the Deputy Director General for EU Affairs at Turkey's Trade Ministry. And from Istanbul, Chris Gaunt. He is the Chairman of the British Chamber of Commerce in Turkey. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Chris, it's been 6 months since we last talked. Back then, it was unclear if Brexit were to be materialized successfully, and if not, what kind of an impact it would have on the both countries' economies. Luckily, everything went smoothly and the FTA was finalized on time. Could you talk to us about the significance of this free trade agreement being the UK's first FTA since leaving the European Union?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very significant. And, we waited till the last minute because we were dependent on the UK signing their deal with the EU. But that was finally signed and we get the FTA with Turkey signed on the 29th with Minister Pekcan. So, yeah, I mean, we were all anxious. It was critical to our trade relationship, UK and Turkey, to have this free trade agreement. And, we're delighted to have it. I mean, it's a continuity agreement that continues the same trading relationship that we had before we left the EU. But it's also a starting point. So what we have now is a 2-year window in order to negotiate enhanced trading terms with Turkey. We will be continuing to negotiate to add more opportunities to our free trade relationship. Yes. And build a sustainable free trade relationship going forward.
Okay, so Atilla, what's the agreement about? What's in it for both countries? And could you talk to us about its significance for Turkey?
Well, the agreement is about the trading in goods. As Chris has just mentioned, we are very pleased to have the agreement, to conclude the agreement, and it establishes a new framework for our trade and economic relations. It will provide predictability, certainty, and stability to our companies, and our companies will continue to enjoy the same business environment they have been using for the last 25 years. As the UK is no longer a member of the European Union, the agreement also envisages an expansion to other areas like services, investments, and it will certainly work as a solid basis for our further steps to improving business environment. Mm-hmm. It will certainly maintain our long-standing and high level of trade relations between Turkey and the UK.
So how will this agreement add to the existing sectors, Chris, on which the two sides trade, and what other areas could see further expansion?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, we've had a strong trading relationship when we were part of the EU. And many sectors were actually covered there, apart from agriculture and one or two other sectors. But I mean, we're now looking at expanding our engagement with agriculture. We're also very focused on the tech sector. We see a lot of opportunity between UK and Turkey to develop our tech relationship in climate tech and green tech. We're also looking at fintech and health, lots of areas there. I mean, on the basis that Turkey has advanced quickly in terms of its tech capability across all aspects of tech. Mm-hmm. So, Turkey is obviously a good way. A lot of entrepreneurial tech companies, startup companies, and as far as UK is concerned, we have the also the leading edge tech companies who want to engage with Turkish tech companies, and also London provides the funding. In terms of investment to tech startups. So lots of opportunity there. And as far as the region's concerned, I mean, again, Turks in the and UK companies will be looking forward to working with Turkish companies who not only have a strong presence in Turkey, but also have a strong presence in the region.
Okay, so Atilla, the Turkish lira has seen steady gains since the trade deal was signed, giving some relief to the Turkish foreign debt payments and its current account balance, because 2020 was a volatile year for Turkey. So could its recent gains and the FTA signal a more brighter year for the Turkish economy?
Yes, certainly. UK is our second biggest export market, just after Germany. It represents quite a large number. We also host quite a large number of investors from the UK. And the agreement is just the first steps to further taking other steps like digital economy, services, investments. And we are certainly looking forward to working with our UK colleagues to expand the trade to other areas, as we have already agreed. And we will be looking forward to expand our exporters. They have a much bilaterally, have a now predictable environment where they can continue their exports to the UK market. And hopefully this will help our trade in a much better way, as it will eliminate the uncertainty surrounding the Brexit in the last couple of years.
Has this agreement, Chris, created a more competitive environment for Turkish products in the British markets, or it presents more opportunities for Turkish investors?
Well, yes, it has, and we've seen, some very large investments from Turkish companies into UK over recent years. The Ülker Group, who purchased United Biscuits, that was a $2.5 billion transaction. And we've seen other Turkish companies who have also invested in UK. But obviously, we're looking at it in terms of a two-way street. So we also want UK investors to invest in Turkey. And I mean, this trade deal that we've now got in place secures our ongoing economic and trade relations, and that will give a lot of confidence to UK investors, looking at Turkey, particularly as Turkey offers a very broad range of opportunities and capabilities. And we've talked before, I think, about companies moving away from Southeast Asia and China in order to get their supply chain closer to the domestic market. And again, Turkey has a major opportunity there. And now we've secured our trading relationship, I think that will give more, enthusiasm for UK companies to look at Turkey, not only as an investment opportunity, but also as a manufacturing base.
So some UK companies are thinking of realigning their supply chains in the region. So Atilla, what's the mood among the businessmen of both sides? Are they relieved at last?
Yes, they are very relieved, and they are very pleased to see the agreement in place. They have been enjoying the tariff elimination for industrial goods. They have witnessed the substantial liberalization in agricultural goods, and they have seen the review clause where it will enable us to expand the agreement to other areas. And our businesses are very relieved and very pleased with the agreement. They are looking at the future 2021 with confidence. They will continue their trade, and there are integrated manufacturing structures in both countries, and they are now sure that they will continue to maintain that structure. And they are certainly looking at expanding their trade, and we hope to reach a higher level of trade in the next couple of years.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's all for this edition of Straight Talk with me, Ayşe Süberker. If you've got any comments, follow us and tweet us at Straight Talk TRT. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.